overhead? Real light or just another mirage? He knew it for real when he saw the pale glimmer of his hands, the white ghosts of his shirt sleeves. He hadn't become disembodied in the dark after all. On the next landing he found a door with a real window, a dirty square pane as wide as his two stretched hands. He craned his neck and peered out, blinking against the grayness that seemed bright as fire, making his dark staring eyes water. Oh God, the little fishes, let it not be locked. He shoved and gasped relief as the door moved. It didn't creak as loudly as the one below. Could be a roof. Be careful. He crawled again out into the free air at last. Not a roof. A broad alley at ground level. One hand upon the rough stucco wall behind him, Miles clambered to his feet and squinted up at the slate-gray clouds, a spitting mist and lowering dusk, all luminous beyond joy. The structure from which he just emerged rose only one more story, but opposite another building rose higher. It seemed to have no doors on this side, nor lower windows, but above, dark panes gleamed silver in the diffuse light. None were broken, yet the windows had an empty, haunted look, like the eyes of an abandoned woman. It seemed a vaguely industrial block, no shops or houses in sight, no lights, security or otherwise. Warehouses or a deserted factory? A chill wind blew a plastic flimsy skittering along the cracked pavement, a bit of bright trash more solid than all the wailing angels in the world, or in his head, whichever. He was still, he judged, in the territorial prefecture capital of Northbridge, or Kitahashi, as every place on this planet seemed to boast two interchangeable names, to ensure the confusion of tourists, no doubt. Because to have arrived at any other urban area this size, he would have had to walk over 100 kilometers underground in a straight line. And while he would buy the 100 kilometers, considering how his feet felt right now, the straight line part was right out. He might even be ironically close to his downtown starting point, but on the whole, he thought not. With one hand trailing over the scabrous stucco, partly to hold himself upright, and partly from what was by now grim superstitious habit, Miles turned right and stumbled up the alley to its first crossed corner. The pavement was cold. His captors had taken away his shoes early on. His socks were in tatters, and possibly also his skin, but his feet were too numb to register pain. His hand crossed a faded graffiti, sprayed in some red paint and then imperfectly rubbed out. Burn the dead. It wasn't the first time he'd seen that slogan since he'd come downside. Once on an underpass wall on the way from the shuttleport, where a cleaning crew was already at work effacing it. More frequently down in the utility tunnels where no tourists were expected to venture. On Barrier, people burned offerings for the dead, but Miles suspected that wasn't the meaning here. The mysterious phrase had been high on his list of items to investigate further before it had all gone sideways yesterday. And this morning, turning the corridor into another unlit street or access road, which was bounded on the opposite side by a dilapidated chain-link fence, Miles hesitated. Looming out of the gathering gloom and angel rain were two figures walking side by side. Miles blinked rapidly, trying to resolve them, then wished he hadn't. The one on the right was a cow-eaten beaded lizard, as tall or short as himself. Its skin rippled with variegated colored scales, maroon, yellow, black, ivory white in the collar around its throat and down its belly. But rather than progressing in toad-like hops, it walked upright, which was a clue. A real Taoisean beaded lizard, squatting, might come up nearly to Miles's waist, so it wasn't exceptionally large for its species. But it also carried sacks swinging from its hand, definitely not real beaded lizard behavior. Its taller companion, well, a 6-foot-tall butterbug was definitely a creature out of its own nightmare, not anyone else's. Looking rather like a giant cockroach with a pale, pulsing abdomen, folded brown wing carapaces, and bobbing head, it nonetheless strode along on two stick-like hind legs, and also swung cloth sacks from its front claws. Its middle legs wavered in and out of existence uncertainly, as if Miles's brain could not decide exactly how to scale up the repulsive thing. As the pair approached him and slowed, staring, Miles took a firmer grip on the nearest supporting wall and essayed cautiously, "Hello?" The butterbug turned its insectile head and studied him in turn. "Stay back, Gene," it advised its shorter companion. "Looks like some sort of druggie stumbled in here. Look at his eyes. Its mandibles and questing palps wiggled as it spoke, its male voice sounding aged and querulous. Miles wanted to explain that while he was certainly drugged, he was no addict, but getting the distinction across seemed too much of a challenge. He tried a big, reassuring smile instead. His hallucinations recoiled. "Hey," said Miles, annoyed. "I can't look nearly as bad to you as you look to me. Deal with it." Perhaps he had wandered into some talking animal story like the ones he'd read over and over in the nursery to Sasha and little Hellion. Except the creatures encountered in such tales were normally furrier, he thought. Why couldn't his chemically enchanted neurons have spat out giant kittens? He put on his most austere diplomat's tones and said, "I beg your pardon, but I seem to have lost my way. Also my wallet, my wrist comb, half my clothes, my bodyguard, and my mind." And his hand felt around his neck, his auditor's seal ring on its chain. Not that any of its overrides or other tricks would work on this world's comnet, but Armsman Rourke might at least have tracked him by its ping. If Rourke was still alive. He'd been upright when Miles had last seen him, when they'd been separated by the panicking mob. A fragment of broken stone pressed into his foot, and he shifted. If his eye could pick out the difference between pebbles and glass and plastic on the pavement, why couldn't it tell the difference between people and huge insects? It was giant cicadas the last time I had a reaction this bad, he told the butterbug. A giant butterbug is actually sort of reassuring. No one else's brain on this planet would generate butterbugs, except maybe Royce, so I know exactly where you're coming from. Judging from the decor around here, the locals would probably go for some jackal-headed sallow, or maybe a hawk man in a white lab coat. Miles realized he'd spoken loud when the pair backed up another step. What, were his eyes flashing celestial light, or glowing feral red? "Just leave, Jean," the butterbug told his lizard companion, tugging on his arm. "Don't talk to him. Walk away slowly." Shouldn't he try to help him? A much younger voice. Miles couldn't judge if it was a boy's or a girl's. "Yes, you should," said Miles. "With all these angels in my eyes, I can't even tell where I'm stepping. And I lost my shoes. The bad guys took them away from me." "Come on, Jean," said the butterbug. "We've got to get these bags of findings back to the secretaries before dark, or they'll be mad at us." Miles tried to decide if that last remark would have made any more sense to his normal brain. Perhaps not. "Where are you trying to get to?" asked the lizard with the young voice, resisting its companion's pull. "I don't know," Miles realized. Back was not an option till the drug had cleared his system and he had garnered some notion of who his enemies were. If he returned to the cryonics conference, assuming it was still going on after all the disruptions, he might just be rushing back into their arms. Home was definitely on the list, and up till yesterday at the top, but then Piggs had grown. Interesting. Still, if his enemies had just wanted him dead, they'd had plenty of chances. Some hook there. "I don't know yet," he confessed. The elderly butterbug said in disgust, "Then we can't very well send you there, can we? Come on, Jean." Miles licked dried lips, or tried to. "No, don't leave me." In a smaller voice he said, "I'm very thirsty. Can you at least tell me where I might find the nearest drinking water?" How long had he been lost underground? The water clock of his bladder was not reliable. He might well have pissed in a corner to relieve himself somewhere along his random route. His thirst suggested that he'd been wandering something between 10 hours and 20, though. He almost hoped for the latter, as it meant the drug should start clearing